Here it is. So a lot of you in the video where we went over the wanted ads for women in this work basket pamphlet, booklet, magazine, were going gaga over this pattern right here on the cover. So I went ahead. It is a cross stitch pattern, which is super easy to convert into crochet. So I did just that. I converted the cross stitch pattern into a crochet pattern, and you will find a link to this pattern down below. And it does include the original cross stitch pattern if you're interested in cross stitch. It is working on a canvas. And I also include the graph. And because it's so tiny, I went through that whole graph and I pieced out each symbol so that you can work the symbols with no problem. You don't have to get your magnifying glass out. I also went ahead and included some instructions on how to work this in crochet. And you don't have to work this in just like, say, tapestry crochet. You can work this in Tunisian crochet as well. And so a little fun fact, Tunisian crochet way back in the day, in the 1800s, was most popular for doing embroidery on whenever it came to working blankets and things of that nature, like specifically working a panel that has got some ivy and roses going up it, and then you just sew all the panels together. They would use Tunisian crochet for obvious reasons. The perfect little square grid on there. You can see right where your tapestry needle needs to go. You can easily see 1, 2, 3 squares, rows up. That's 1, 2, 3 rows up. And you just put your needle in this way, come to the top corner of the square, and go that way. Come over to the next, come this way, and work your X like that. And then right after working your last little symbol or your last little X right there where you ended right here, just poke up right on the other side of that bar and do it again. 1, 2, come over, 3, and 4. And you just keep going. Now the next other side of the little bar. And so you can work tapestry crochet if you've never done, not tapestry, excuse me, embroidery crochet. The reason I say embroidery crochet is because you are working your embroidery on a piece of crochet rather than on a piece of canvas. So you can actually use this pattern as it's very simple, as you can see. You're just working in little lines. There's not a lot of complication to it. Also, this pattern does include the moon and sun symbols. These are the classic zodiac sign symbols. So some of them might not look familiar, and some of you are 100% familiar with and appreciate that it's the classic symbols. I'm actually going to use this opportunity to learn how to do crochet embroidery. So I'm going to finish working my square, and I'm going to use this gorgeous violet to work my symbols. I'm going to work the Gemini symbol with you. Okay, so these squares, although this is more like a rectangle at this point because the Tunisian crochet stitches are longer than they are wider, but I have a solution for that. These squares are meant to be 15 stitches wide by 15 rows tall. So they are 15 by 15. I'm going to go ahead and bind off this last row. This is row 15. And we just work slip stitches under the bar. You go under the bar, yarn over, pull through, pull through. So just working slip stitches. So I'm not going to worry about the size right now, not until I am done with the embroidery. What I intend to do is work a row of single crochet after I'm all done with the embroidery. Work a single crochet row on both sides, and that should give me a little bit more of a square, and that's okay. I've always wanted to learn how to do this on Tunisian crochet. I have seen so many patterns for something like embroidering on Tunisian crochet from all parts of the 1800s, and I was always very intrigued by it, but I decided that this would be a perfect opportunity to finally just learn a new skill. Okay. There we go. Yeah, it's not exactly a square, but we needed the row count and the stitch count to make this work. Wonder if I can do it like that. And why is it more narrow up here than down here? Probably because my stitches were looser down here. Okay. Wonder if we can just work the symbols. Since it is 15 and 15, theoretically I should be able to work the symbols even this way. Let's see here. Shouldn't be a problem. Yeah. Just go through there like that. It's supposed to be a rug, so it's supposed to be shaped like a rectangle anyway, so I might give it a try working it like this. And I really wished I hadn't worked my stitches so much tighter up here than down here. You know, this is just practice. Okay, I'll be right back. What if we work our way up and then over? I think that would be smarter. I think that would be much, much smarter, because I was about to tackle it under the perspective of crochet, but this is embroidery now. So 1, 2, 3 on the 4th row up, 2 stitches over on the 3rd stitch. So 1, 2, here's the 3rd stitch. So I will go in right here. There we go. I've never done this before. I did not watch a tutorial on how to do this. I'm just assuming based on, well, what I've seen in books. Books from, well, this era and the 1800s. So now I'm going to come up here. And you can see I'm doubling up on the yarn. So I'll show you whenever I pull this back out. I'm using it double strand, or just simply fold it over. Okay, and then come back down here. Wait, is that gonna work? No. Okay, there we go. Well, that's not exactly, well, it's kind of a cross. It's kind of a cross. Okay, and then we have exactly diagonal, so the 4th stitch over. So I'm just gonna jump right back into that last space I just worked in. And then cut up to this next hole here. See, this is why doing this on Tunisian crochet, in my opinion, is so much better. I did play around with this on regular single crochet, and I struggled to see where I needed to put my needle. Okay, I'm going to come down here so that I can end at the top. No, I want to end at the bottom. Oh. Ooh, I don't like that. Can I undo that? Can I have a do-over? Again, I've never done this before. Yeah, I don't like that. Okay, try that again. Let's see here. We need to go up this way. Over. Right there. There we go. That's better. And then down into this hole here. There we go. Okay, and now we have to work another diagonal up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th stitch over. So I really don't need to count. I just know that it's going to come from right here. So I will go back into that. Right there. Then come up this way into that little hole. Up through, no, up through here. Have to be sure not to split my yarn. That looks like it split ever so slightly. Down into here. Okay, these are turning out much better. Now we work, that's the one there. So now we're going to work 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 across. Total of 7, but this counts as the first of 7. So now I'm just going to jump over to the other side of the bar there. And work 6 of these across. This is actually quite relaxing. I am definitely understanding cross stitchers a little bit better right now. This is very relaxing. That one there's too low, isn't it? Yeah, this is actually quite relaxing. I'm enjoying this. And it's something so different. So different. So delightfully different. Okay, try this again. That's a little bit better. I'm not very fast with it because this is so new to me, but I imagine the more I do it, the faster I'll get. Oops. Yeah. Well, we've got one really puffy one here. That's okay. That's quite all right. So hopefully you're getting kind of the hang of it just by watching, and you're like pausing the video right now. You're finding your Tunisian hook and your yarn. I'm using just Aran weight or number 4 worsted weight, and I'm also using a 5mm vintage number 8 Susan Bates Tunisian hook. This one here came from like the 50s or the 60s, so it's pretty close to the times. We are looking for a total of 7. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. This one here will be 5. And you know, I don't think we need perfection, especially if it's our first time doing this. That'll be fine. Don't kill yourself. Don't ruin all the fun trying to be perfect the very first time. I'm surely not. I'm enjoying this experience, even though it is nowhere near perfect. It's just good enough for me to say I did that with almost no instruction. When I say almost no, the only instruction I had on how to do this was looking at pictures of cross stitch and then seeing an example in a book. I don't remember which book, but it was something from the 1800s. That's it. That's all of my total formal education on this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Last one, 7. Thank goodness these designs are super duper 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 easy, which is perfect for learning how to do something like this. Okay, now I need to go. Well, now I have a bit of a conundrum here, don't I? Should I have been working it like this? I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Does this count as a stitch? No, I don't think so. Oh, you know, I'm just going to keep going. Okay, now I need to work 2 stitches perfectly diagonally down. So I'm just going to jump down. I'm actually going to start in this upper corner. 2. Come up through the top portion of the corner and end down at the bottom where I can immediately jump over to the next square on the back side. Well, it's not quite as connected as it is over here. Again, we don't have to be perfect. So now I will jump down here and finish off this section. Well, oh, I didn't even pay attention to what was happening back here. Did you know that? Well, if you didn't, now you do. Oh boy. Well, because all that white yarn was caught in the back, I've got some loose bumpy dumps back here. That's okay. So it's not centered. Not at all. I'm not exactly sure why. Let's see here. Oh, you know what? I do know why. And it's probably why it's taller than it is wide. Tunisian crochet is not the same as regular single crochet. This is a stitch that we need. So we need what is from here to here as one stitch. I was simply counting this as one stitch. So if we actually count it by the blocks, we're short. I'm short. So let's go by block. One, well, let's see here. One, so between two pegs is one block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And that jives. I am one whole block short. So if you're going to do this in Tunisian crochet, start with 16, not 15 stitches. That should fix the problem, and it'll also square it out just a little bit more. If I had worked 16, we'd be out to about right here. And that would, in fact, look a little bit more square. So I'll be right back. I'm going to do this again. But I guess not bad for very first time. These wouldn't be so loose like this. I don't know. I messed up. I just simply didn't. I'm going to do better next time. This was my first run around. Just a moment. I'll be right back. Okay, so here's my square. It's still a rectangle essentially, but a few people since I started this channel had recommended that for acrylic, blocking it would be best by using a hair dryer. So let's go ahead and test that theory out on camera, because as you can see, it's very, very curly all the way. Let's see how relaxed we can make this with a little bit of blow drying. Let's see what we can do. I will turn the volume way down for this part. Exactly sure how long I need to do this for. I imagine until the acrylic gets good and hot. Then I'm going to blast it with cold air, because sudden cold air with plastic should seize it into place. So we're going to do a little bit of fast forwarding, and I'm going to turn the volume way down for you. Okay, the wood is still warm. I'm going to let this completely cool down on its own. I'll be right back. That was about 1.5 minutes with the air dryer. Now, if I wanted to do this, I would just stack them and then just hit them with the heat and then let them cool to try to get flatter pieces. I don't think it's going to cure it completely, but we'll see if it relaxes it pretty good. I'll be right back. Well, there's our answer. I pulled the pegs out. Look at that. Now it's not completely flat, and moving it around might cause it to curl back up again, but it is significantly more relaxed than it was before. So, theory confirmed. For me, it was a theory. That's only because I never tried it. No offense to anyone who did try it and was like, I've been trying to tell you. I hear you now. So, yeah, and I would imagine that whenever you wash and dry your Tunisian crochet, the same effect happens. But look at this. This is going to be so much easier to work with now. It'll curl if you hold it like that, of course. That's just the weight of it. But there you go. All right, let's try that again. That embroidery. Here we go. I worked these stitches a little too tight on this side here, and it's not square. That's why I said whenever I'm done, I can work a row of single crochet on both sides to help square it out a little bit more. All right, let's try this again. So I'm just gonna use the double strands again. I don't know if that was a problem last time or not, but I'm gonna use the double strands again because I like the way it looks thickened up like that. Okay, so our pattern is the 4th row up, and now I clearly have, as far as like clear squares, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 and 15. So here we go. 1 2 3 4 1 2 3. The 3rd square over is where, and I'm going to make sure that I don't include any of my tails. Okay. So we're going to work this one. Now I'm going to fast forward through some of this just a little bit. But I won't fast forward it too fast so you can still see. But just to get through this bit that we already did, that I already did earlier. Oh. See if I pull on this. Nope. Yep. Okay, there we go. Better. Better. I probably should have done it where I ended up here on the back, but I'm still learning. I'll figure this stuff out as I go. Okay. Much better. Oh, there we go. Much better. Let's see what we do next. There has to be a better way to do this. I feel like some of you more experienced with cross stitch probably would have started in the middle and worked your way around. That's what I feel like. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to work my way up. And I need to put a square on top of here and on top of here. I'm probably going to have to add more thread eventually, but here we go. And twist things a little bit. Okay, now I will go ahead and weave this over. I don't know how I do that. It's got to be, I'm just not paying very good attention to what's going on in the back. So that's something I definitely need to improve on, is paying better attention to neatness in the back of the work. Okay. And start here to here, because I want to end up here. So I will punch up here, and then I can end by going down on this corner here. Yeah, it's just, I'm going to improve on that, guys. I know that's messy and probably hard for some of you experienced embroiderers to look at. I apologize if that triggers anything for you. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is go back and forth. I got to do 1 and 2. I have to do that 2 more times. So here we go. Maybe I should have watched a video on how to do this instead of just trying to take it on. Like, I can do it. But that's how I feel. I do feel like I can do it when I see these things. My problem is I see something and just sight unseen, I think to myself, I can do that. And then I do it. But it doesn't always turn out the way it looked when I was watching whatever I was watching. And the next video I put up will be a part 2 of going through. So many of you wanted to see the rest of the ads in this. So we're going to have a part 2 going through the rest of the ads in this, because you know what? You guys are right. There are some very interesting ads in here that I completely overlooked, but y'all didn't. You didn't miss it at all. Okay. Now one more. Wonder if the problem is that I'm using this darning needle, and I probably should be using a straight pen. Okay. All right, so now I need to work both across and out. So I think what I'll do is start down here, work across and end like that. Yes, that seems good. Okay, so that is going to be also 3. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and then in the 4th, and I need 1, 2, and in the 3rd stitch over, correct? Correct. Okay. Well, I think I might be able to get away with doing this with the amount of yarn that I started off with. I might. This is really messy, y'all. I am fully aware of that. This is really mostly just practice, and to show that without any practice at all, this can be done and it can be perfected with practice. Because I've never done this before, this very video, this very moment. And again, I didn't watch any videos or anything. I'm kind of thinking I probably should have. Okay, so that is their sign for Gemini. Now, on the pattern, everything is sideways. It is a rug, so you're meant to turn it like here. See, so whenever you look at the patterns, they're going to be like this, but they're meant to be viewed like this. So let's see here. That's Pisces there. That must be Gemini down there. No, because yeah, it doesn't matter. So yeah, everything is going to be sideways until after you're done making it. You can sew it any which way you want. I'm going to go ahead and add the single crochet row on both sides, and I'll be right back. We'll see how that looks. Okay, so I just went ahead and joined to this corner here on the side stitch. I'm weaving in my tails as I go. And I'm yarning over so that I can get a little bit more height on that single crochet. Typically, and what I mean by that is if you're new to the channel, typically I yarn under, just have my whole life. But it does make for a lower profile single crochet when you yarn under. So I am yarning over for this to get a little more height. So what I'm looking to do is getting as close as possible to adding an additional inch from one side to another, because it measures about 4 inches wide before the single crochet rows, but it measures about 5 inches long. So I'm looking to hopefully get as close to an additional inch as possible. I don't think I'll achieve it completely, but as close as possible will make me happy. And then right here. Okay, that looks more squared out. Then of course this would all get sewn together. Now let's see what we got. Wow, we got 5 inches. And I didn't add anything to the top or the bottom, so we stayed 5 inches. So yes, adding the single crochet on each side squared it out just fine. There we go. And of course, with these tails, these can also be weaved in as you sew the whole piece together. And blow drying it really did help relax those stitches quite a bit. I'm very, very happy with that. That is nice. So there is one Gemini done, meant to be viewed like that. Okay, all right, so you can pick the pattern up. You can make this in Tunisian crochet and do the embroidery style like I did. It's not the neatest, it's not the prettiest. Don't look at the back. Don't look at the back, just the front. Look, when you look at the back, keep looking. Doesn't that look so much nicer now? Doesn't it look like I did a professional job when you see the front? Anyways, give it a try. Learn a new skill. Practice with it, play with it, and then there are some extremely ornate patterns out there that exist that are even from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. I have some of them that require this type of crochet where you do Tunisian, specifically Tunisian, and you embroider on it. I haven't seen too many patterns that call for embroidery on regular crochet, except for that 1970s baby poncho. That one did. Well, actually, that was on double crochet. Typically, whenever I see embroidery crochet, which is a term we're coining here if it doesn't exist, it's usually called for with Tunisian crochet. Okay, guys, let me know what you think. Pick up the pattern, check it out, and I thank you all so much. Look out for a part 2 of going through more of these ads and wanted ads. Bye.